Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 7, verse starting from 1 to 19. The son of Drona punished. Shaunaka uvacha nirgate narade suta bhagavan vadarayanaha shrutavams tadabhipretam tatah kimakarod vipuhu.
Chapter 7, the son of the Dharana punished. Translation is Rasi Saukuna asked, O Sutta, the great and transcendentally powerful Vyasveda heard everything from Sri Narada Muni. So after Narada's departure, what did Vyasdev do?
Next to Suta uvacha Brahmanadyam Saraswatyam Ashramah Paschime Tate Shamya Prasa iti Prokta Rishinam Satravardhanaha.
Sri Sutta said, on the western bank of the river Saraswati, which is intimately related with the Vedas, there is a cottage for a meditation at Summers Parasa, which any livens the transcendental activities of the sages. Yeah. Hello.
Verse 3. Tasmin swa ashrame vyaso badari shandamandite asinopa upasprishya pranidadhyau manasvayam.
In that place, Srila Vyasdeva in his own ashram, which was surrounded by berry trees, sat down to meditation after touching water for purification.
Verse 4. Bhakti yogena manasi samyak pranihite male apashyat purusham purnam mayam cha tadapashrayam.
Thus he fixed his mind perfectly, engaging it by thinking in devotional service, bhakti yoga, without anything of material realism, and thus he saw the absolute personality of Godhead along with his external energy, which was under full control.
Explain. Yaya sammohito jiva atmanam trigunatmakam paropi manutenartham tatkritam chabhipadyate.
Due to this extremely energy, the living entity, all the transcendental to the three modes of material nature, think of himself as a material product and thus undergoes the reaction of material miseries.
Verse 6. Anarthopashamam sakshat भक्तियोगमधोक्षजे लोकस्या जानतो विद्वांश्चक्रे सात्वतसंहिताम्.
The material mysteries of the living entity, which are superfluous to him, can be directly mitigated by the linking process of devotional service. But the mass of people do not know this, and therefore the learned Vyas Veda completed this Vedic lecture, which is in relation to the supreme truth.
Verse 7. Yasyam vai shruyamanayaam Krishne paramapurushe bhaktirutpadyate pumsaha shokamoha bhayapaha.
Simply by giving our reception to this Vedic lecture, the feeling for loving devotional service to Lord Krishna, Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, sprout up at once to extinguish the fire of illumination, illusion, and fearfulness.
Verse 8. Sasamhitam bhagavatim kritva nukramya sasmajam shukamadhyapayamasa nivritti niratam munihi. Sorry, I have some background noise. Please bear with me.
That's okay. The great sage Vyasdeva, after completing the Srimad Bhagavatam and revising it, taught it to his own son, Sri Sukdeva Goswami, who was already engaged in self-realization. Sorry, Mataji.
Verse 9. Shaunakam vacha savai nivritti nirata Rupekshako munihi kasya va brihati metam atma ramasamabhyasat.
Sri Saunuka asked Sukta Goswami. Sri Sukdeva Goswami was already on the path of self-realization, and thus he was pleased with his own self. So why did he take the trouble to undergo the study of such a vast lecture? Such as a vast lecture. Sorry, Mataji.
Verse 10. Suta uvacha atma ramascha munayo nirgrantha api urukrame kurvanti ahaitukim bhaktim ittam bhuta guno harihi.
All different varieties of astaramas, those who take pleasure in atma or spirit self, especially those established on the path of self-realization, thought freed from all kinds of material bondage, desire to remind unalloyed devotional service unto the personality of Godhead. This means that the Lord possesses transcendental qualities and therefore can attract everyone, including liberated souls.
Verse 11. हरेर्गुणाक्षिप्तमतिर्भगवान् बादरायणः अध्यगान् महदाख्यानं नित्यं विष्णुजनप्रियः.
Srila Sukdeva Goswami, son of the Srila Vyasdeva, was not only sorry Mataji, can you correct me on this one? Transcendentally powerful, he was also very dear to the devotee of the Lord. Thus, he underwent the study of this great narration, sorry,
Narration, Mataji. This great narration.
Srimad Bhagavatam. So yeah, narration Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Verse 12. परीक्षितोऽथ राजर्षेर् जन्म कर्म विलापनम् संस्थां च पाण्डुपुत्राणां वक्ष्ये कृष्णकथोदयम्.
Sutta Goswami thus addressed the Rasis headed by Savanukha. Now I soul being the transcendental narration of the Lord Sri Krishna and topics of the birth activities and deliverance of King Pariksit the sage amongst king, as well as a topic of the
Renunciation.
renunciance of the worldly order by the son of Pandu. Thank you, Mataji.
Verse 13-14. यथामृधे कौरवसृञ्जयानां वीरेष्वथो वीरगतिं गतेषु वृकोदराविद्धगधाभिस्मर्शा भग्नोरुदण्डे धृतराष्ट्रपुत्रे भर्तुः प्रियं द्रौणिरिति स्म पश्यन् कृष्णसुतानां स्वपतां शिरांसि उपाहरद्विप्रयमेव तस्या जुगुप्सितं कर्म विगर्हयन्ति.
When the respective warriors of both camps, namely the Kaurava and the Pandavas, were killed on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and the dead warriors obtained their deserved destination, and when the son of Dhritarashtra fell down, laminating his spine broken, being beaten by the club Bhimsena, the son of the Dronacharya, Asthavama, beheaded the 5 sleeping sons of Draupadi and delivered them as a prize to his master foolishly, thinking that the would be pleased Drona. Sorry, Mataji, can you?
Duryodhana, however,
Oh,
deceptive.
Duryodhana. However, this powered of the heinous act, and he was not pleased in the least. Sorry, Mataji. Thank you.
Do you want the font to be increased?
Sorry?
Do you need the font to be increased, Mataji?
Sorry, what shall I read, Mataji?
Do you need the letters to be big on the screen, or is it okay?
It's okay, Mataji. Yeah.
Okay. Verse 15. Mata Shishunam Nidhanam Sutanam Nishamya Ghoram Paritapyamana Tadarudadvashpakala Kulakshi Ram Santvayanna Hakiritamari.
Mataji is 16 is not coming up still. Oh, is there? Okay.
The 15 translation we are reading now, Mataji. The first line that you see on the screen.
Okay. Draupadi, the mother of the 5 children of the Pandavas, after hearing of the um, mass massacre of her son, began to cry in distress with eyes full of tears, trying to pacify her in her great loss. Arjuna spoke to her thus. Thank you, Mataji.
Verse 16. Tada shuchaste pramrujabhibhadre yad brahma bandho shira atatainaha gandiva mukyair vishakhairupahare twakramya yajnasya vidagdha putra.
O gentle lady, when I present you with the head of that Brahmana after beheading him with arrows from my Gandiva bow, I shall then wipe the tears from your eyes and pacify you. Then, after burning your sons' bodies, you can take your bath standing on his head.
Verse 17. Iti priya valgu vichitra jalpyai sasantvaitva chutamitra suta anvadravatam shita ugradhanva kapidvajo guru putram rathena.
Arjuna, who is guided by the infallible Lord as a friend and driver, those satisfied the dear lady by such a statement. Then he dressed in armor and armed himself with the furious weapons, and getting into his chariot, he set out to follow Aswadama, the son of his marital teacher, martial teacher.
Verse 18. Tamapatantam savilakshya durat kumarhodvignamanaratena paradravat prana paripsururvyam yavad gamam rudra bhayadyatakaha.
Astadvama, the murder of the princess, seeing from a great distance Arjuna coming at him with a great speed, fell in his chariot, panic stricken, just to save his life, as a Brahma fell in fear from Shiva.
Verse 19. Yada sharanam atmanam aikshata shantavajinam astram brahma shiro mene atmatranam dvijatmajaha.
When the son of the Brahmana Asthavama saw that his horses were considerate that there was no alternative for a protection outside of his using the ultimate weapon, the Brahmastra, non-killer weapon. Mataji, you.
Right, Mataji. Thank you very much, Mataji. Very well tried.
Thank you.
Presentation.
No, thank you for helping me out, Mataji. And very nice. Your rag is very nice, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone.
Sorry
And
for
sorry
any
for
mistake.
background noise as well. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you so
Mataji.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you for the recitation. So
Thank
yes,
you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So today so far we've been reciting up to text 19 at the beginning of each session, and today we are looking at text 19 as well, actually. But yeah, we'll start with the Mangala Charan, and then we'll start the class. Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. Hare Krishna. So we'll just share my slides on the screen and then we can start. As I said, we'll be looking today at text 19. Okay, so Sanskrit verse first. Yada sharanam atmanam aikshata shantavajinam astram brahma shiro mene atmatranam dvijatmajaha. Translation and purport by Divine Grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The translation. When the son of the Brahmana, Ashwatthama, saw that his horses were tired, he considered that there was no alternative for protection outside of his using the ultimate weapon, the Brahmastra, nuclear weapon. Purport. Okay, so first point Srila Prabhupada makes in the purport is that in the ultimate issue only, when there is no alternative, the nuclear weapon called the Brahmastra is applied. So we can see here, Ashwatthama is fleeing from Arjuna. He's riding as fast as he can, but now he's seeing that his horses are becoming tired. He's not going to be able to keep up the same speed for very much longer. So now he's come to the conclusion that I don't have any other option. I'm going to die. So the only way to stop that is to use the best weapon that I have, which is the Brahmastra. So he's getting ready to attack Arjun with this weapon. So, and Prabhupada is making the point as well that this is only used as a last resort, and he's saying that it's a nuclear weapon. So he's comparing it, and he says elsewhere that it's the equivalent, how nuclear weapon is like the most devastating weapon that we have at the moment. Similarly, the equivalent in that time, in the Vedic times, was the Brahmastra. And so I was just thinking, when I read this point, that this happens when there's no alternative. I was just thinking of how we also understand that the whole war, in one sense, the whole battle of Kurukshetra, that whole war that was also a last resort. There was no other alternative. They have tried so many other ways to try and get peace, and even sending Krishna to try and negotiate peace, but Duryodhana didn't want anything to do with it. And anyway, ultimately, it's also, as we know, Krishna's arrangement. But in one sense, we can see that this was the last resort. The Pandavas, they were looking to go to war, but Duryodhana and the Kauravas, they left them with no choice. And okay, so that's the rest of the purport. Would anyone like to volunteer actually to read this paragraph, please?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, can I read?
Yes, please.
The word Dvijatmaja is significant here because Ashwatthama, although the son of Dronacharya, was not exactly a qualified Brahmana. The most intelligent man is called a Brahmana, and it is not a hereditary title. Ashwatthama was also formerly called the Brahma Bandhu, or the friend of a Brahmana. Being a friend of a Brahmana does not mean that one is a Brahmana by qualification. A friend or son of a Brahmana, when fully qualified, can be called a Brahmana and not otherwise. Since Ashwatthama's decision is immature, he is purposely called herein the son of a Brahmana. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for reading, Mataji. So, okay, so first thing Prabhupada is saying, even though Ashwatthama is the son of a Brahmana, the son of Dronacharya, he doesn't exactly have the qualifications of a Brahmana. And then Prabhupada is making this important point that being a Brahmana is not a hereditary title. It's not just that just by being born in that family, then automatically it's passed on to you and you become a Brahmana. It's by qualification. But then, as we know, Srila Prabhupada mentions this many times, that nowadays there are many of these Brahmanas. Often he mentions certain families where they've just been, passing it on, and they're under this misunderstanding that just because my father is a Brahmana, therefore I'm a Brahmana. It doesn't matter what I do or what my qualifications, what my activities are. I can do anything, whatever I like, but still I'm a Brahmana. But it doesn't work like that. So then it mentions this, so Prabhupada mentions this point. Sometimes we hear this phrase, Brahma Bandhu, which is kind of referring to someone who's a friend of a Brahmana, but it's indirectly saying that they're not a Brahmana. They're just a friend of a Brahmana. And then again, the same point, that being such a Brahma Bandhu doesn't mean that you are a Brahmana by qualification. And only when you're fully qualified, then you can be a Brahmana. And then Ashwatthama's decision was done immaturely. It was done rashly, without really thinking of the consequences, because as we know, and we'll hear later as well, but just to briefly mention it, that one of the reasons, or the main reason why it's immature, is because he released this weapon, but he doesn't know how to call it back. He's no idea. He only knows how to release it, but after that, he doesn't know what to do. And such a terrible weapon which causes so much destruction and damage, which he just rashly, without really fully thinking of what would happen, he just threw that weapon out of desperation as well. And we see this, Prabhupada talks about this, that when he is making, because he's making Brahmanas of not just people who are from different backgrounds, in terms of whether they're Brahmana, Kshatriya, etc., but even like Westerners and people who are completely have no knowledge of these things and are completely ignorant in one sense. But so they were kind of these caste Brahmanas, or these hereditary Brahmanas. They were complaining. They're saying that how can you do this? These people, they're not Brahmanas. They're not born in a Brahmana family or anything like that. It's not right for you to make them Brahmanas. This is not. They even say, this is not according to scriptures. When in fact, Prabhupada explains, no, this is exactly according to scripture, because the scriptures themselves say that it's by qualification. Nowhere does it say that it's just hereditary. So Srila Prabhupada didn't really pay so much mind to that, because he knew he was doing the right thing according to scriptures, according to Krishna. But it's just natural. Again, a point Prabhupada makes a lot, that when we're trying to change things in this way, in such a positive way, there's always going to be demonic personalities who will oppose us. And sometimes, I think even sometimes he says like that if there's no opposition, then we're doing something wrong. But when we're actually really trying to do the right thing and really change things in this world, then there will always be those who want to oppose us. But Prabhupada says that we should carry on anyway, despite this opposition, because we know we are doing the right thing, which is bona fide according to scriptures, according to great acharyas, and according to Krishna. So yeah, so basically, Srila Prabhupada is saying Ashwatthama is not a Brahmana. And we see this is similar to in the timeline of things, is after this pastime, but obviously we know about it already, how when Parikshit Maharaj was cursed, it was a similar situation, where the Brahmana boy, Shringi, he acted immaturely, he acted rashly, and he didn't display the qualities of Brahman. He didn't possess the qualities of a Brahmana. So he's similarly referred to in places as Brahma Bandhu as well. And yeah, so that example can also be given of someone who's, you know, the son of a Brahmana, but he doesn't have the qualities of a Brahmana, but still considers himself a Brahmana. But then we can see by his actions that he's definitely, you know,